New conversation. Let's talk, think about it. Let's get it together. Together we can do it. Out of the box. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Out of the Box podcast. I'm your host, Jay Got Soul, and this is season 3, episode 10, titled The Revolution. Alright, so this show is sponsored by Urban Financial Literacy. Urban Financial Literacy specializes in building, protecting, and preserving your wealth. If you or your family need life insurance, retirement planning, credit repair, mortgage protection, or trust and estate planning, reach out to urbanfinancialliteracy.com to book a consultation. Be sure to also visit my website at jgodsoul.com to check out what we have to offer. Currently, we are running our rebranding sale where all of our remaining items from the previous collection is being sold at $30. Our Nova Sky Dedication Collection is now available on our website for sale, so you can check that out. Just know that a percentage of those proceeds will be allocated toward Nova Sky's medical bills. And for those of you who don't know who Nova Sky is, she is my late niece. She passed away August 5th. And she had some medical issues, so we are commemorating her through our Nova Sky dedication line, and so that is why those proceeds is being dedicated to those bills. Lastly, if you need some practical budgeting tools, just tap in with us. We have our free Now Act Like It worksheet that allows you to track your monthly income, track your expenses, give yourself a small allowance, and also guide you towards the path of building wealth. Alright, so be sure to check out jgodsoul.com for more information. Alright, so special thank you to those that are listening, and I would like to ask you all who are listening to share this broadcast so we can reach as many people as possible. But before we get on with the show, y'all know what we do. We're going to have a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity to be in the studio. Thank you for our guest, P Smoove, for allowing him to get here safely and allowing myself to get here safely as well. God, we're just so grateful for all the opportunities that you're providing for us, and we're grateful for this space and time to share with the people that are listening live on this broadcast. God, we just ask that you continue to protect us through these uncertain times. In your name we pray. Amen. Alright, y'all, so we got P Smoove in the studio. P Smoove is a revolutionary hip-hop artist, born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama. I am excited for this interview today, so Out of the Box family, help me welcome our guest, P Smoove, to the studio.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? I appreciate you having me.
Yes, man, that accent so thick, I love it.
Man.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So, P Smoove, let's talk about where you're from and where you grew up, and because that accent is really thick.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, and all of my people there are from the country, so that's where that accent thickness come from.
Yeah. Okay. And tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Well, I mean, I had a fairly decent upbringing. I was definitely in sports. Like, my mom made sure I was in sports year round, pretty much. So I wasn't too much in the streets, even though I grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that kind of kept me out of trouble. And, my mom was in my life. My father was in my life, my stepfather, my entire family. So I'm definitely very family oriented.
Nice.
And, I always had a strong support system.
Dope. Okay, can you tell the people who is P Smoove?
P Smoove is the smoothest in the game, first and foremost. He's definitely a revolutionary artist, and also more of a grown and understanding lyrical content type of guy, one who always wants to basically look at things in a more helpful and progressive way. So
Where does that stem from? Like, what made you become that type of artist? Because we have all kind of artists out here just talking about nothing.
Well, I mean, for the longest, I guess that's kind of always what I gravitated to subconsciously for a long time. Like my earlier years, I remember my first album was that I bought was De La Soul. I think it was The Stakes is High or something like that. But I've always loved that soulful sound, any of that soulful music. You know, my first artist I ever loved was Michael Jackson, which is probably the same for most people. But that soulfulness is what always kind of got me and stuck to me. So that, and then just the material, the lyrics and stuff that they had in that music, you know, it just all made sense. It was a whole vibe, and it just kind of became like the person I am, and then that kind of helped develop, you know, the artist.
Yeah. Okay. So revolutionary hip hop artist. Tell us what revolutionary means to you. Like, what is the revolution to you?
Well, it's basically to go against a system, in my opinion, well, in my standpoint of what we're doing, going against a system of oppression and suppression, because it seems like everything that we do, a majority of the things that we do, usually come with the negative, some sort of negative context to it, you know, and which is not true, you know. A lot of the stuff you get on the news, so they usually give you these faint, you know, little stories or whatever, and it's always the negative stuff, you know, and you rarely see any positive or you know, stuff like that, any positive or any strong stance people, you know, in the world, or even the people that are doing good, the successful people, the real successful black people, not like the artists and the ball players and stuff like that, but like the people who actually went to school and took the long road and succeeded, you know, and they're giving back to the community. So it's about bringing that to the forefront and bringing more awareness of that to our people. And I mean, everybody else is nice for them to know, but our people, we need to see those people in our communities just around the world.
Nah, that's real, because when you say that, like, it makes me think of, you know, how I did a lot of research on like Black Wall Street, and I noticed a pattern of how white supremacists will create a lie, right, to impact us in some way negatively. And so then that lie becomes a lie that we believe and we think over and over again. And so what's happening, it seems like we're just reenacting the lie that was told to us about us. As opposed to us creating, you know, the narrative for ourselves. You know?
Well, that comes from a lot of that comes from fear, because we have always done that. Like in those times with the Black Wall Street, it was the reason why they created that narrative about the people being devilish and horny and just all this crazy stuff. Like, it's the reason why they created that, because we were very successful all over America. So we had over 60-something different cities in the country that was thriving, that was doing better than a lot of these white cities in these white towns in these areas, you know. So you know, they created that narrative, and then every time we build ourselves up like that, they go to the most extreme extent to terrify us and to kill us. I mean, those are some of the biggest terrorist attacks ever happened in the history of the world, honestly. And a lot of people don't realize, like, most of those, like all of those happened here in America, you know, and to innocent kids and families and people who couldn't even really defend themselves. They still chose to attack us just for the color of our skin, or us being successful, or whatever merit they feel that they needed to attack us on.
And then the cold part about that is that separate but equal laws were active. So you already put us at a disadvantage, right? And then we become successful, and then you go ahead and you double down on that. And that's why I'm so passionate about Black Wall Street and what they did, because I use that as a template in my mind to say, like, you see how right now they're rolling back a lot of those laws that helped us even get a little bit further, because they're doing the same exact thing through policy now, you know, and it's a pattern that continues to happen. And if we don't catch on to the pattern, we're gonna fight the wrong fight.
I mean, we've been fighting the wrong fight. I mean, we've been fighting civil rights, and like, we need to have a direct connection, a direct line for the black people in this country, because not only were a lot of us brought over here as slaves, but majority of us were already here, and that's another narrative they try to shift, but they have shifted. You know, come with the Dawes Road Act and all that. You know, when these people were able to buy, you know, they had the white people able to buy their by their way into the Dawes Roads Act, into that act, because they were giving Indians land and stuff like that, so they were called $5 Indians. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they were the ones who paid $5 to get those to get all those the benefits, to get the benefits from that act. You know what I mean? So you got to imagine the amount of people that were turned away and turned down and not even given the opportunity to get any of those, benefits.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a lot of history that we have to get to get very familiar with, so we know how to move. Like I feel like it's hard to navigate this world when you don't know the history.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like we're just kind of like moving, and then we just jump on this movement and jump on that movement, and it loses focus.
Absolutely. Yeah. They don't want us to navigate. They want us to be robotic. They want to set the dials and then just have us go and do everything that they have us programmed to do. And that's what they'll be trying to do. So anytime we become navigators, we become a problem, because we were the navigators from the jump, the Moors and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So you're from Alabama. Can you tell us, because California is completely different from Alabama.
Man.
So what is that experience like as a black man growing up in Alabama? Were there prejudices that you experienced, and things like that?
To be quite honest, I grew up in Montgomery, so it was quite a few more black people, and quite a few more black people who were not willing to take any of that. And these people kind of knew and understand that, so I didn't really face a lot of that. I don't think too many black people really have faced that in those city areas. If you go off into the country, you start seeing the Confederate flags and stuff. That's a little different story. But I haven't really experienced it like that personally, to say out there. But I have gotten quite a few stories from like my aunts and my uncles, and, and a lot of those stories were like traumatizing in a way to me, because at that age, it's like you thinking like, man, like you just really think that you're beneath these white people. You think that everything that they run everything, and they're just better than us, and they're just more dominant than us. So that's automatically what you think, and that's what you feel. And when you see them, you're socially or just mentally already programmed to think that these people are better. So that's when you remember you had to walk across the street if you see them and all that, like all that type of stuff, man. So, I mean, as getting older though, and seeing the differences, seeing some of these actual videos and hearing some of these real stories also from my uncles and stuff, like they weren't just laying down, but that's what they showed us though, to scare everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like those tactics.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how we met. We just met not too long ago. Yeah, do you remember?
I think it was April 30th. Was that what it was? For the, no, it was, I think it was in May, but it was at that giveaway. I mean the
community.
Yeah, the community give back. Yeah. So it was there, and then I ran into you and your moms, and we had a cool little conversation. Bought some merch. Make sure y'all go and get that Black Money Matters merch, because that's some dope merch, and just the idea behind that is just so strong and powerful. So we got to make sure we support you as well.
Appreciate that for sure. But yeah, when I met you, first thing I heard was that accent. The first thing I asked you, like, where you from? Because I have family from Alabama, so I know that accent anywhere.
That's right.
So I'm like, oh, this family right here.
Yeah, that boy. Oh, we related.
Right. That's my cousin right there.
That boy.
Yeah. So, but then I heard the song "Freedom" that you have, and I wish we could play it today, but we're gonna play that song. We're gonna get that
Gotcha.
But just like the song, first of all, the when I first heard the beat and all that, I'm like, okay, I feel something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you feel it before you hear it.
Yeah.
And then when you started rapping, I was like, okay, this is it. This is dope.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just so real. Like it's just so real. Like I'm a lyric type of person. So
Absolutely.
if I listen to music, if the lyrics are not there, I'm probably gonna disregard it. But when I heard that song, I was like, this is it. Like this is something that people need to hear for sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us about that song, Freedom.
Well, I mean, that's a song that came from like all of my experiences in life, and not just experience, but other experiences, the things that I've been researching and come to see. And But that was just it was just a song. Like when I heard because I heard the beat like probably like a year or two before, and I just kind of passed it. And then it was just in the time like not too far to Trayvon Martin and all of that, and it was like I came across it again, and then it was just like it just hit me automatically, and then I just went with writing it, and then after that it's like. It's songs like that. When I have songs like that, like I really don't even remember what space I was actually in as I was writing. You know what I mean? It's almost like one of those things. You just leave everything, like you dig so deep. You leave everything on that track. You leave everything on the record. You know what I mean? And then after that, it's just like a sigh of relief almost. You know what I mean? So that's
like something was building up and then you just had to
exactly
go. Okay.
Exactly yeah
That's dope. I can't wait to be able to play that song because I do want the people to hear that song.
That's right.
That song I connected with heavily. But we're gonna go on our first break. Today we're talking about the revolution. You already hearing this is a revolutionary conversation, but we're gonna go on our first break. We're gonna listen to Focus Freestyle by Golden Child. We'll be right back.
Stay out the way, my circle small to keep me focused. Used to think I needed all the friends till I got older. People around you say they love you, okay, time will show us. And what, cause we grew up together, now what I'm supposed to owe you? Love. We went separate ways, time went by, perspective changed. They say, so now you switching up. Yes, bro, can stay the same. I listen to these old heads reminisce on how they had the game. All fucked up, young and dumb. Wanna go back, but can't replay it. I ain't on nigga shit, nah. Niggas ignorant. Niggas can't be trusted. Facts. Niggas die too quick. I'm on my man Smoove to pass through, make my people richer. I'm moving godly now, like way before them ships was entered. God, I'm in a whole nother mode. Give my respect to be gone. We ain't out here begging for nothing. No, we gon' get it done on our own. I sat down and talked to some bosses. We talked about some projects we've been working on. I can't say too much about them. No, in public we speaking in code like switch lanes. Switch back both ways. I mean like both plays. Win-win, all games. Bet we tried to ask for it, but they not gon' give it, so okay, we gon' take it. You saw what Conda said, it's just a movie. I saw it and sell it, we gon' make it. Like you know, I'm tired of talking about what we can't do though. So much we can do, but ain't got a clue though. You could run and finish the way that you move, bro. Multi-millions in a tie and a suit though. They know it too, they just couldn't let you know. Too much at risk if they told you the truth, so I peeped the setup, I had to put you on. Fuck what they risk and we win when they lose, bro. Hey. We only working if we think alike. Tried to work with everybody, had to learn that ain't how you live a peaceful life. We were just together, why you ain't tell me? I just wanted you to be surprised. Whole time they wouldn't understand it, I just had to let them see it with their eyes. Revolutionary talk, boss talk, not for everybody talk. Club talk, keep it real brief when you call talk. Only power moves, this ain't small talk. Oh, you thinking that I can't relate? Had the candles lit cause the lights off. So the food stamps to get the lights on. Easy ramen noodles with the hot sauce. I just had to level up, ain't nobody saving us except for us. And we got the bag, we just playing games, acting like $1 trillion ain't enough. That might go over your head, over your scalp if you ain't in touch. You know that we the chosen ones. You know that we got royal blood.
Alright guys, we're tuned into the Out of the Box Podcast Season 3, Episode 10, The Revolution. And we are in studio with P Smoove. Yeah, so P Smoove, can you tell me how you were introduced into music?
We moved to me and my daughter's mom, my youngest daughter's mom. We moved to Phoenix. And I met this guy named Nate Dunn. His white cat, cool. But he worked at the Chevron. We got to talking. He telling me about these beats and stuff. So he ended up, let me use them. And then I came back the next day. That was the first time I've ever written any songs. So I came back the next day with like 4 songs done. And they were like hard. And we both looked at each other like, yo, we got something. So from that point on, it was just Yeah, it was pretty much just go mode. That was like 2009, I believe, 2008, 2009.
Okay.
And after that, it was just about just figuring out the rest of the process.
Yeah. Did you have any any upbringing with music prior to that point?
Well, I mean, other than the church choir, but I was actually I hate to say it, but I mean it is what it is. It's part of my past. I was in the show choir. In school, it was called Starburst.
Okay.
And I kid about it, you try to laugh at me, my face about it. But it was dope though. It was a singing and dancing situation, So it was cool. So I got that background. Not too long ago, I found out my dad used to play in a band. That was they had a deal and they were on the verge of kind of doing something pretty big. But I don't know. He told me some other stuff that I probably shouldn't even say on here, but I guess it just didn't work out. My dad's a pastor, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that give you a little bit of insight over.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of where our background comes from when it comes to music. Like I'm definitely convinced that it comes from the church.
Oh, for sure.
So that's why it's not surprising to me at all that you come from choir. I used to sing in the choir too.
Oh yeah.
My dad's he's a preacher.
So we PA.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually wrote an article titled "Little Africa Reboot," and I'm talking about how a lot of us, especially musicians, they all stem from the church because that was the only form of expression we really had. And so then a lot of those musicians started getting exploited.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the talent started inside the church.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's our background. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely. That's honestly got to be true because you don't hear about, especially back in those days.
Yeah.
You don't hear about nobody really coming up except out of the church. You look at everybody's background. James Brown, whoever you think of, is always from the church.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So when did you begin performing?
I began performing in 2014. It had a show in San Diego. It was like this little showcase competition they had once a month. And I think I did my first one the first 2 times. I placed second. And the third time I finally won, and then from that point I was just winning. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was like basically my foundation of performing, just that, and then from there, just all the different connections. It was like, hey, can you come perform here, and come perform there, and come perform here, and then it was just like it started like a small circuit for me.
Yeah, dope. Okay, so you transitioned from Alabama to Los Angeles.
Actually, I went from Alabama to Dillard University, New Orleans for a year. Then I went to the military. I was based in Norfolk, Virginia, and then I went from Norfolk to San Diego, and then from San Diego to here.
So military travel. Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering how'd that happen. Because you on your page, it's like you went from, I think you said I'm from Montgomery, but you moved to the capital.
Yeah. Cause if I try to type in all the other stuff, they'd be like, "Hey man, you ain't got no characters, man."
Okay. When did you find your voice?
Man, be honest with you, I'm still kind of in that process. I don't think you ever really, depending on the music you make. I mean, I have such a wide range. It's like almost each song requires a different texture of voice, or it may be a different tone, or maybe a different speed or cadence. I might have to have a deeper voice or a higher voice. So it's like it's still all a process with me anyway. So yeah, it's just I'm still searching.
Okay, and what's your favorite topics to write about?
I mean, honestly, more of the revolutionary music. I mean, and not even just so much revolutionary. Like I got a lot of almost street gospel music where I'm talking to the brothers and sisters in the hood. You know what I mean? That's going through certain things, or see things one way or a certain way, or just not even thinking of seeing things. So I address quite a few. So that right there is my favorite, to be able to address my people, because those records really hit deep for most people when they hear them. The only sad part about it is it's not a popular type situation that people want to put on the radio or anything like that. But it's getting there.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure. Nah, it's just important that we, you know, uplift positive music. That's my biggest thing with this platform is, you know, making sure that the quality gets, you know, what it deserves. Because we have a lot of mainstream, like, not quality music. Like, I literally don't listen to the radio because it's the same thing over and over, right? And it's not a lot of quality. But I love messages that can really reach a wide range of people, especially the youth.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
They're gravitating more towards that, you know, senseless music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the music, I mean, it's all changed. Remember, we used to have 4 or 5 minute songs.
Right.
Now you get a song barely 2 minutes nowadays. That's how short the attention span is.
Yeah.
And in those 2 minutes, they probably say 5 or 6 words that aren't the same. It's always shoot, bug, blah, blah, all them onomatopoeias and all that crazy stuff. That's all it is.
Right.
You know? But I try not to knock it. I try to at least embrace it so I can have some sort of context of understanding of the youth, because I don't want to have that much of a disconnect. You know, people, there is a disconnect between the youth and the elders.
Absolutely.
And I think we're the ones who are somewhat failing them, but it's not really our fault because we find ourselves on a completely different journey. We're learning all these new truths about what's really going on. We kind of distracted by a whole nother journey right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So this generation behind us might not be there, but the one behind them that we start really teaching, that's where all that stuff is really going to come in.
We are the bridge.
Absolutely.
We are the bridge.
Absolutely.
Like, I spend a lot of time listening to that older generation because I've always been that type of, you know, person where I'm like really interested in what they got to say because the wisdom is always there.
Yeah, for
you
real.
Know, like, I'm going to soak up all the wisdom, but also I know that there are certain things that they don't know, and they're also basing a lot of their forward movement off of the past.
Exactly.
And we are the future, and we are the present. We're the present. No, the next generation is the future.
Yeah.
We're the present.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to be in that middle space to be able to communicate what that older generation wants to get to the younger generation in a very creative way.
Exactly.
And that's why your music and music like yours is very important, because it's doing that.
That's right. Appreciate it. Yeah.
It's that bridge.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a very important, man. But now you just got to show more support to each other in order to get that type of music out there.
Facts.
You know.
That's facts. All right, you guys. So we're gonna take our second break. This next song is titled "Subliminal" by Golden Child. We'll be right back with P Smoove. Stay tuned.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them change. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like I ain't teach you how to bathe. Hold up. You fooled me time and time again. You got me a few times. The tables turned out, I know I'm about to win. I'm good, I'm back now. Oh, you know this time would come, oh yes you did. You know it. Oh, nobody ever gets away. This ain't back in the day, like you know. Granny used to see you act like she done seen a ghost. No, we not buddies, they just business, I just need a quote. They can't run the game and call the shots when we the ghosts. I know killers and drug dealers, they all with us. Hit me up like, look, I ain't perfect, I just won't walk with this way. Flush the brick down the toilet after we talked with them. Then nobody want them, we took them cause we saw God in them. I know you prayed for me, home from the tree, and you cried. Wasn't for nothing. Through the days and through the night. Made the money, put the money back in my economy. My brother, he don't talk a lot, he busy buying property. Hell yeah, it's personal, but that's the way it's gotta be. I got plenty critics, but I'm focused, they don't bother me. Back down, ain't no back down. Y'all take one, we take 10, man, y'all know how we come. It ain't no hoe in us, no, we ain't running. The death on my square is the death that I want. Yeah, I'm talking subliminal. Compared to what we about to do, what we did was minimal. The more we work, the more our competition look invisible. My money good, mama, they wanna make me a criminal, yeah. Y'all keep on asking, I'm like, what I need permission for? Can't cut me out, I need that, I'm kicking down the door. I'm plugged wherever I got blood ties around the globe. They wanna see me on my knees, but I can't never go. You fooled me time and time again. I was temporary. Yeah. The tables turned now. I know I'm about to win. It's our time, my time. You know it, you know it. Oh, you knew this time would come. Oh, yes, you did. You know, you know. Oh, nobody ever gets away. If
you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. So we see and have changes every day. So pray.
You are tuned in to the Out of the Box podcast, season 3, episode 10. We are in studio with P Smoove, and this is The Revolution. All right, so we're having a good conversation. You're hearing the music, and we just want to really push that message. Like, it's time for us to get together, and it's time for us to support each other, but it's also time for us to make some better, positive decisions for our community. All right, so we're gonna get back to this conversation with P Smoove. So P Smoove, when did you know, or how did you know music was something that you actually wanted to pursue? And is this something you do full time?
At the moment, some pretty much. Yes, I'm doing it full time until something else called. You know how it is. This is LA now. But yeah, it's I just found out by I mean, honestly, just with having that God-given ability of understanding. Like, I really love the fact that I have an ability to be understanding, and I mean in like ways to know if something is good or something is bad, and not be biased to myself, you know. So just with that and feeling that way, and then just kind of putting stuff out there, and the responses and feedback I was getting, it was like, yeah, this is kind of it right here.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, and so what is the feedback? Like, how does people respond to your music?
Well, I mean, it's so many different levels of it, because like I said, I have so many different types of track. I have the revolutionary ones, and then I have the club tracks, and then I have some of the deep street, heart and soul type records, and I have records for the ladies. And I mean, all of them are basically, like, people really just love the lyrical content. They love my voice. And, I mean, that's just pretty much, to sum it up, that's what it is. And then, you know, as of recent, one of the biggest words I've been getting that people have been using to describe it is commanding. You know, so.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. That's powerful. So I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really heard a lot of your music. Yeah. So we are fresh. Like, this is a whole fresh relationship we building. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe, like, you have a presence. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you twice so far. You know, because we seen each other at the Compton Black Exchange as well. Yeah. You know, and so I do look forward to hearing, you know, the other music that you have when you're talking to different audiences and stuff like that, to kind of get a feel for myself. Because when I feel it, it's different.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you have any projects in the works right now?
Yeah, we have actually, there's quite a few projects in the works. The biggest thing is trying to figure out what the next move is, as far as signing or staying, you know, independent. That's really the biggest, you know, issue we're having right. Well, not issue, that's just, you know, the main thing I'm kind of focusing on, because the material there's, content is there, everything is there. So it's just about how we want to move forward. And, as far as getting it out there, if we want to kind of make this happen fast, or you know, or whatever, deal with the labels. And the only thing about the labels is just it's just so much, you know what I mean? So many different things. It takes that process just to get started, you know, all the legal work and paperwork. It's just so crazy with all of that. But yeah, I have quite a few things coming out. A single with me and my cousin. Shout out to Moody Bands. Okay. Out there in Milwaukee. He's in Phoenix now. But yeah, him, and then some other projects that I have coming out. Okay. So hoping this year, but if not, topping next year for sure.
Have you been approached or had conversations with any labels?
Yeah, I mean, not like not like walking into the building, the Capitol or anything like that, but just like with different people from Capitol, Universal, Empire. I mean, just pretty much representatives from reps from those places. So nothing like too serious, but yeah, I mean enough to know that it's being noticed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
What are you looking for? You know, in that process, like what would be your deal that you would like?
I mean, literally just a marketing and promo. You know, I just need that reach as far as distribution and all that. Like, I mean, you can do all this stuff yourself. I mean, I'm already doing all of that myself right now anyway.
Right.
So really just reaching out, getting that reach, and then just the opportunity to get in front of new people or fans, you know, like at festivals and stuff like that. You know, just trying to touch that because, I mean, like I said, whenever I perform, there are usually a good amount of people that really have a connection, that feel a connection with me. Not just like, you know, your music is good, I really like the song. Now it's like a connection. It's like, man, like I wanna, like they wanna exchange phone numbers and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, you know what I mean? But it's like a really deep connection. So like I said, and I mean any environment. It could be a straight hood street show where everybody talking about everything and all that, you know. And I step in there with that Freedom song, and it'll completely change the vibe. And everybody's throwing their fist up, and then you got all these cats who's talking about, hey man, I got a track like that too. You know what I mean? Something like that, you know, talking about fighting the power. I'm like, yeah, I bet you do. Right. You know what I mean?
How many, like when you perform, what's the largest number of people you perform in front of?
I would probably say the Bomb Factory in Dallas, and I have to look up what it was, but I think I want to say it was like a 2,500 people or capacity venue or something.
Dope.
Yeah, well, it wasn't completely 2,500 people in there when I performed, but it was like it was half, a little over half. You know what I mean? So that was probably the biggest crowd, which is dope. Yeah, super dope.
Okay, so like what platforms are you on? Like if people want to hear your music, you know, what platforms can they find you on?
You can find me on all platforms. I'm on Spotify, everything, all of that. The only thing I'm not sure about is SoundCloud. But Spotify, everything, Apple Music, YouTube, and you just go to P Smoove. That's P.SMOOVE, and you just look that up and it should pop up. Really, Smooth and Dangerous or Freedom, but Smooth and Dangerous is the album, but P.Smoove Freedom, that's the single that you can also find everywhere.
Okay, what kind of adversity have you had to deal with this work that you're doing?
I mean, man, it's been tons of it. I mean, the fact about the type of music I'm making, you know, people don't want to hear that. You know, you gotta talk about this. You gotta make one song like this and one song like that. And I'm like, man, I don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? Like I just want to make music. I learned that whenever you make something you really love, something you really feel is good, no matter what's going on, if it's good, it's good. People are gonna like it and gravitate to it. So I like our people, we're too caught up into that same construct that they have us saying, like, you got to do what everybody else is doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's been like one of the biggest things for me, and not really that much adversity, but I'm just tired of hearing it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel it. I feel that to the core, because I mean, with Black Money Matters Act Like It, you know, the first thing everybody see is black, and as soon as they see black, what's the first thing they tell me is like, oh, that's racist. Oh my God. That was something I heard, you know, and I've even heard that from black people. Yeah. You know, so it's just really interesting to hear, like, when we really are out here fighting and doing work for our people, how mind warped you find that our people really are in these spaces, because they want us to be conformative, and they want us to make, you know, the very people that is oppressing us very comfortable. Exactly. And they have to be comfortable. Like, you're scaring the white people.
Like, so what?
Right.
But you're a chosen person. Like, you really are chosen. So you got to understand that, because it's a difference when you're a chosen person. Like, you see things that people don't see. You understand things people don't understand. You feel things people don't feel. And that's when I say people, I mean like majority, almost all. You know what I mean? So it's really, I know it can be hard to connect with people and really, you know what I mean? Because you seem like a very easy person to connect with and deal with. But for you to be comfortable around certain people, it seems like it'd be a little off sometimes, just because you could, you know, people always try to get you to conform or want to be like, hey man, you know, it's just too much. So I get what you mean by that.
Yeah, like I've been dealing with that since I was a kid.
Yeah,
like,
that's how you chose it. That's how I know it.
Like it's so crazy. I'm just gonna share this story because y'all need to get to know me.
Yeah.
But like I started off playing basketball, right? I'm a hooper.
You look like a baller too. Yeah.
I did my thing.
Yeah, I can tell.
But you know, when I first started playing, I didn't play with girls. I played with boys. That's how I started. 5 years old. And the very first thing I was told is like, you're not supposed to play with boys. You're supposed to play with girls. So I would literally take a whooping just so I could continue to play basketball. Like I would literally brace myself for the whooping so I could play basketball. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm busting heads out there because I'm hurt. I'm mad. You know. So to hear you say that, like that is confirmation. I appreciate you.
No, it's a pleasure. And I appreciate you because you need to know that it's hard. I know it's hard when people don't receive that. You know what I mean? I know how hard it can be and how in days it can be like you draining or whatever, but nah, it just is always good to, when I see it, I make sure I let it be known. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that you feel that and you understand that, and at least you have that little bit of confirmation in your mind.
Nah,
you know
I respect it and I appreciate it because it's needed.
It's a pleasure.
It's
absolute
needed,
pleasure.
For sure. All right, you guys, so we're going to take our final break. This last song is titled Open Enemies. We got another one by Golden Child, so y'all stay tuned.
GC, you know. This is not for the cowards, it's not for the Uncle Toms. But if you know what's going on, you'll understand. Let's get it. 400 years, bloodshed and tears. Lives lost and lives cost, and now the bill is here. My people robbed, y'all took our culture, yet you say forget it. Well, let somebody rob your ass and you forget that shit. You won't forget, you didn't forget. And if I can't say shit about slavery, then don't bring up Hitler. So that's that shit you taught in slavery, forgive and forget them. Well, look, I'm something like Nat Turner, fight back and remember, I got a different agenda. Look, I'm young, not scared, no fear, don't care, no hope in my blood, don't bring that ass around here. I'm here to wake up lions in the jungle and let them know too that if they catch you lurking, bite that ass round here. At the bottoms where they got us, in the squalor, they don't give a fuck about you and me. Now that I promise, and I don't know how much more you need to see to recognize that they're your enemies. Stevie Wonder could spot it. Only cowards be quiet, cause they scared of these tyrants. Y'all care too much about dying. Well, in this war, you might just have to give your life, cause freedom ain't free, they say it's priceless, the same way your life is. Bull kinda, racist cracker, heartless bastard, sicking dogs and hoes in my brothers back when King marched in Selma. And them racist police remained in the system, got rid of Connor, but the whites who rode with Connor remained in the system. Would hate you and tell you to your face you a nigga. Type to spit on your grave or put a pistol to your temple. And now you wonder why police today keep getting off, cause shit them racists back then, now they run judicial systems. Catch up, peep game, too much ain't changed. Didn't love us then, don't love us, so respect us today. And now I'm racist and I'm violent cause abuse I won't take it. It's crazy how you turn the victims to the ones people blame. But nah, I swear that now this is a different day. Say we young and fearless, act up and we'll meet you at your gates. We ain't never lived, so look to give our lives, it ain't a thing. I would rather die than live my life a ass-kissing slave. And at the bottoms where they got us, in the squalor, they don't give a fuck about you and me. Now that I promise, and I don't know how much more you need to see to recognize that they're your enemies. Ray Charles could spot it. How much more you gotta see? Only cowards be quiet, cause they scared of these tyrants. Y'all care too much about dying. Well, in this war, you might just have to give your life, cause freedom ain't free. They say it's priceless, the same way your life is. And what happened to fearless black men? My brother's been lacking. I see too many pretty boys who really bout that action. And sisters died, place their lives on the line. Not for us in modern days to sit around like shit ain't never happened. You think that you not a slave. The little money that you got to them is pocket change. And you ain't nothing but a privileged house nigga. As long as you hush when masters say not to say a thing, respect from me you'll never gain. I'm rolling with the soldiers, packed too thick like necks on cobras. I ride with only lions, but we kings outside the jungle. Most of us came from nothing, so we know all about the struggle. This fighting shit ain't new to us. Came up like this as youngins, we got heart. That's just how we are. Just don't get us started. I don't rock with my Uncle Tom. That boy, he retarded. It's been time for a revolution. Say we just been sleeping. I'm just holding arms with all the brothers who do more than marching. Let's go.
At the bottom's where they got us. In the squalor, they don't give a fuck about you and me. Now that I promise. And I don't know how much more you need to see to recognize that they're your enemies, but I hope by now you got it. Only cowards be quiet, cause they scared of these sirens. Y'all care too much about dying.
We're tuned in to the Out of the Box podcast, season 3, episode 10. We are in studio with P Smoove. P Smoove approve of the music.
Absolutely, Golden Childish. Oh my goodness. Like I saw his one of his videos online before, just like and hit the fire emoji and it keeps scrolling. And right now I'm glad that you've been playing this and I heard it, because now I'm a follower of the guy. You know what I mean? On the internet. Yeah. On the internet.
Nah, I just had to, the revolution. If we talk about the revolution, I definitely wanted the music to accompany that, and we push that same message.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about your mission behind your music. Like, what would you say that mission is?
That mission would be to get to open the eyes of our people, the ones that have the same mindset that we have, to basically actually start doing stuff, to start opening your mouth. Like, you don't have to just get out here and just try to be a part of all these organizations. Just do what you can to open your mouth and connect these dots. Like, speak to these kids when you see these kids doing crazy stuff. You don't have to condemn them, but you just let them know what time it is. Like, let them know these consequences, even though they may know. But sometimes that little bit of reassurance from someone else can go a long way. So, my main thing is to really just connect the dots with the people, to get our people to connect. You know what I mean? To try to give us the like-minded people, the individuals that really do have that mindset, to really want to get out here and make a difference. And even if it's just the smallest iota, whatever you can possibly do to contribute to the betterment of our community.
Yeah, that's nice. I love that, because community is important.
Man.
And for us to be able to communicate and connect with community is something we need so desperately right now.
Absolutely.
So what's an important lesson that you've been learning as you journey through this artistry?
There's so many. The biggest one I would say is to be yourself and staying true to yourself. And a lot of people kind of get that mixed up and think that just means you have to be who you've always been. No, you have the same morals and goals, but you learn every day. You build yourself every day. You take what you can take from other positive things that you see around you and figure out ways to incorporate that into your life, and how to always become a better person, all the time.
Is music the only way you connect with your community? Do you have other ways that you do that connection?
Yeah, honestly, to be real, is literally my community, like my direct community, the people that I see when I'm going into the streets, or not the streets, not like that, but when I am in the hood, when I go to San Diego, or when I am out here, and you got the hood homies, and it's just really talking to them. At one point, it was like, we ain't trying to hear that, Sharif. But then after more stuff started happening and coming out, I was like, hey, man, you was talking about that, man. And now it's like it's a different system, and a lot of these gangbanger guys are starting to shift to being more productive and being more positive. They're not really like saying they don't want to bang no more, but I've been having a conversation with them like, hey man, like y'all should be taking all that energy and all that hate that y'all got over there and be putting it towards something positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, that's real. And I know you know Nipsey Hussle.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
So Nipsey Hussle made a huge shift.
Man.
Like before he left and transitioned, he made a huge shift because I live right in the area where he was doing all that, right? So, man, people was out, you know, just having a good time by the store. Like, you know, then a lot of them gang members got into music instead of being in the streets.
Exactly.
So then they took the danger out of the neighborhood. Like, that was a huge shift for us. And I just go back to thinking like, yo, they really don't want us to be successful because for him to do that and he get assassinated like that, it's like, and that was assassination.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm 100%, you know, like sure of that. And one thing that made me think that is the guy that did it, he ended up at a mental, like a, what they call it, DMH like building. Those are government buildings, right? And so that's where the police found him. So you think about the informants.
He tried to find his contact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got situations like this, and so when you see things like that, like how you said, you see things that people don't see. I'm thinking, because I was working, you know, I was working as a children's social worker, so I know a lot about DMH buildings. I know. I'm like, what are the odds that this gang member goes to a DMH building? Like, we don't go to mental health services willy-nilly like that. You know, like, we are struggling to get our people to actually do that. You know, so it's like, what is happening? Like, you know, so...
Especially not a gangbanger after doing some gangbanging activity.
That's what I'm saying.
That don't make sense.
But I love the fact that you're having these conversations though, like, you know, with people, and the shift is happening.
Absolutely.
You know, like, that's important because we could use gang members in a military type of fashion, as opposed to...
They could be the ones that's patrolling our neighborhoods, the ones that are telling these young kids, hey, that's stupid, that's dumb, like, or whatever, like, checking these people, like, those are ones, they have the authority to do so.
Right.
So they should actually be the ones out here checking everybody instead of getting older and then just trying to have somebody under them that they could pull strings with.
That part.
Like, I'm like, come on, nobody's benefiting from that.
That part. So what advice would you give to up and coming aspiring artists?
Like I said, just to really to be yourself, number one. It's not worse than to mess around and get successful or something that you're not. You got to work at putting on the show every day. But one of the biggest things I would say is to work, man. Just work. Whatever you do, make sure you immerse yourself in your craft. Like, study. You need to do research on whatever. Like, whatever it is that really resonates with you and touches you, then you need to dive and dig deeper and deeper into that. You need to learn as much as you can, get as much understanding as you can, and social media, all of that. Like, I'm still really trying to figure that part out. Social media and all that stuff.
It's a trip.
But just stuff like that. Just keep working. Just stay consistent and remain persistent. Know that no loss is really a loss. It's a learning lesson. And just figure out ways to do it better. Or if it just flat out didn't work, then switch it up. Figure out something else to do. But just stay consistent and make sure you study and be honest and true to yourself as well.
That's a word. It's a lesson. You know. All right, so before we wrap up, can you share what platforms you're on one more time? Let them know how they can find you, how to spell your name, all that good stuff. Got you.
Well, so you can find me on all platforms at P Smoove. That's P Smoove. And you can search up Freedom or the album Smooth and Dangerous. Or you can find me on all social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at official P Smoove. It's official P Smoove.
Dope. P Smoove, I appreciate you for pulling up on me.
I appreciate you for having me and letting me squeeze up in here at the last second. Goodness gracious.
Hey, but we did it. We got to do it. You know, this is a dope conversation. This is the type of conversation I love to have. So, I mean, no problem at all. Definitely appreciate you.
That's absolutely.
We're going to make it work. We're going to make that music work for sure.
That's right. Appreciate it.
All right, you guys. So we're going to wrap up the show. Y'all be sure to check out Out of the Box Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Out of the Box Podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Audible, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to our show for updates and new episodes. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at JAIGOTSOUL so you can watch live broadcasts of the Out of the Box Podcast. All right, this has been season 3, episode 10, The Revolution. Thank you to those of you that tuned in live. We enjoyed ourselves and we hope you did too. Again, I want to extend a special thank you to our sponsors at Urban Financial Literacy. Tap in with them if you need help getting your finances in order. It is definitely a need for our community right now to understand how our money needs to be growing, because by 2053 they are projecting that the black wealth will be at 0. So you got to think about who's projecting that, but also you got to be proactive to prevent that. So if you want to book a consultation, book at urbanfinancialliteracy.com. Also, a friendly reminder to check out jgodsoul.com and check out our merch. Check out our blog post, Can Black Wall Street Be Resurrected, Parts 1 and 2, Little Africa Reboot. Have some other things that I wrote as well. Check out our media. I have a short documentary titled Unbroken, where I talk about my own personal but my own mental health journey. And I want you guys to know that mental health doesn't have a face. Anybody can deal with it if we have unaddressed trauma. So go check out Unbroken on my YouTube page. And lastly, if you need any assistance with budgeting, you can also tap our services and book a free consultation on my website. All right, so we will be back in studio next Saturday. What's the date on that? I keep forgetting. All right, so July 15th, we'll be back in studio. You never know who's going to be in the studio next. So until then, stay tuned. We are out.